Hey guys, welcome to Rosie's Dessert Spot. In this episode I'll be teaching you how to make Nutella donuts. In a standing mixer I'm adding in my room temperature milk, just a little bit above room temperature, and I'm going to put in the dry active yeast with a tablespoon or so of caster sugar, and that just helps the yeast to activate. I'm going to stir that through just a little bit and let it stand for about 5 to 7 minutes, and you'll see that the yeast activates and becomes nice and frothy. At that point I'm going to add in my dry ingredients, so my flour, my sugar and my salt, and I'll have the ingredients for all this in the description box below plus the recipe. I'll add in my eggs and my butter as well, and just let that knead for about 10 or so minutes. You might need to add a little bit of flour to help that dough come off the sides, and once it looks something like this, it's done. So remove the dough from your dough hook. You can see it's not sticky at all there, it's awesome. And just lightly knead it on your counter and roll it into a bit of a disc or a ball and place it back into your mixing bowl. And I've sprayed it lightly with some canola oil, and I'm making sure that I've moistened the top of the dough as well. It's going to be exposed to the air. I'm going to let it rise covered in my oven for about 2 hours. The light in there helps to create a bit of warmth, and that really helps your dough to rise. Once it's doubled in size, take it out and just knead a little bit of that air out of the dough. When you're ready, you can roll it out to about 1 centimeter in thickness, or maybe half an inch. And I'm cutting out some circles. I have a 2.5 inch circle cutter that I'm using here. Once you've cut all those out, place them onto a baking sheet lined with some baking paper. And make sure they're about 2.5 or so centimeters apart, because they are going to rise again. And I'm making little donut holes here as well because I like donut holes, so I'm using the back of a nozzle here just to cut those out. And then let them prove again in the oven for about half an hour until they've doubled in size. And I haven't got the fan on, just the light on. Heat up your oil to 180 degrees and start frying your donuts. Don't overcrowd your saucepan here. I'm adding probably about 4. The more you add, your temperature tends to fall as well, so it's a lot harder to keep the temperature consistent. And I do check temperature as well halfway through, just to make sure that it's not going to burn them. After about 2.5 minutes, flip them over once they're nice and golden brown, and allow that side to cook for another minute, minute and a half. I like to press down on them, but that's really not necessary. And once they're done, you can take them out with a strainer and strain some of that excess oil, and place them on a paper lined with some paper towels. Place them on a plate lined with some paper towels. I'm using a spoon here to stir my donut holes in the oil, because I find that they don't remain flipped. When you flip them, they tend to turn back onto the other side. So I find when you stir them in the oil, they cook through evenly and they brown evenly as well. Just a quick tip. And then collect all your little donut holes and strain them as well. And place them onto a plate lined with some paper towel. To make the little holes for the donuts, I'm using just a skewer here, and that'll make room for our nozzle to go into and also leave some space for the Nutella filling. So I'm piping it in just with a metal nozzle. It's a round tip. And right up to the top I'm squeezing, making sure that I've got enough Nutella in there. It's nice and packed. And once you're done, you can dust it over with some icing sugar. And I'm using a little piping bag, and I've got some Nutella in there that I microwaved, so it's nice and fluid, like to the consistency of melted chocolate. And just piping that over. If you don't want to put Nutella in them, you can just roll them in caster sugar, and that works just as well. It tastes beautiful. And I'm doing the exact same thing for the little donuts here. I'm entering a skewer, making some room for the Nutella, poking in my piping bag with some Nutella. And these are best served warm. And you're done. And that's how you make Nutella donuts. These are beautiful little morsels, especially when they're homemade. They're so soft. I'm gonna open that up. You can see the inside. Get a taste test. Beautiful. Thank you guys for watching. Really hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Definitely give it a shot. These are amazing. You can subscribe to this channel for more recipe videos and cake decorating tutorials and dessert decorating tutorials. Did a lot. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you next time.